Good day, this is Rob here with RX Arms Solutions, and today we're going to be installing the RX Arms Benelli M4 Handguard compatible M-LOK heat shield. All right. You are going to need a 2.5 mil hex key and a torque wrench or a torque screwdriver. Some scissors will be handy and a pen will be handy also. You will see why. All right. First things first, let's clear the weapon, prove it's safe. I've already done this. All right, let's lock back the bolt. It's just going to be easier to do this process with the bolt lock back. All right. Let's take the contents out of the box. So we're going to have the heat shield and some other items here. Now this heat shield does provide toolless takedown of the weapon, which was one of our goals in developing this product here. All right, so you're going to have some helicopter tape, some bolts for the heat shield. We're going to have a bracket, okay, and a purpose-built magazine cap. All right. I will say, currently we are building this magazine cap out of titanium. In the future, that may change to 70-75 aluminum, just to save a little bit of weight. You save about 15 grams of weight. But for now, we're going to be sticking with the titanium, okay? This bracket is made out of 4140 pre-hard steel, and the heat shield itself is made out of 6061 T6 aluminum. I'm going to mention the optic rail. You will need to get a RX Arms optic rail in order for this heat shield to attach to your firearm and have toolless takedown. On the front of our optic rails, there is a boss hole that will accept this boss on our heat shield, okay? Right here. All right. I know that there's going to be a lot of questions about this. I get emails daily on, how this thing attaches to the gun. So I will show you a demo takedown once everything's installed, okay? All right. So once you've installed the optic rail, I'm going to have a different video for that. Briefly, you're going to use the OEM screws that came with your OEM optic rail, okay, your Picatinny. And these torque down to, Benelli says 16 inch-pounds. I like to do 15 inch-pounds just to be on the safe side. The receiver is pretty thin, so you don't want to strip the receiver, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. There will be a separate video on the installation for the RMR and the Picatinny. In the future, we do plan on offering the Aimpoint Acro P2 and the Aimpoint T2, okay? Integral mounts, which will also accept the heat shield, okay? All right, so with the bolt lock back, let's remove the magazine cap. You can put that over here. Let's go over the bracket real quick here. Okay. So this bracket slips on the front up here. Okay. Sorry, just give me a sec. Bit of a tight fit. All right, right in there. Now this helicopter tape will protect the finish on your firearm, and it also makes it a bit more snug. I did leave room for the tape. So what I suggest it's very easy to install. I mean, basically you just clean these surfaces on the inside with some alcohol, some rubbing alcohol. Take a square end of the tape. If you need to, you can cut a square end. Okay. It's not quite square. It doesn't really need to be 100%. Turn it white side up, which is the back. Push it all the way up to the bracket and just mark where the bracket ends. Okay. Roughly. So right there is where the bracket ends. I'm just going to cut a strip equal width all the way down, okay? And then you're gonna cut this in half also, okay? And these are the two pieces that you're gonna use on the bracket. You can trim it even more closely if you want to. Basically, the surfaces you wanna get are this upper surface right there. You wanna get this flat and a little bit of the radius underneath. Get some tape on there also, okay? You do that for both sides. Very easy and simple to do. I use like a pocket knife to take these pieces of tape off. I'm not really going to go into extreme detail on how to do this. It's a little bit of a waste of time, but okay, so you take the backing off. Try not to touch the back of the tape. And then you just apply it to the bracket like so, okay? All right, so that's that. After that's done, you can install that on the front of the gun. Sorry guys, there we go. Now this purpose-built mag cap has an amazing retention dedents. I have 3 of them on here. It's a little bit overkill, some might say, but I love how secure it is, and they interact with dedents. This is a prototype. This will be black in the final version, but all these dedent holes on this bracket, it locks into that, okay? Better than the OEM, I can say. So we're just gonna do a little bit tightened on there, okay? Okay, now you're gonna, a gun stand might be helpful for this also, guys, but I know a lot of you might not have a gun stand handy, so I'm doing this just sort of freehand like you will be doing. All right, so let me get rid of this pen, scissors, this tape. I got notes here. You do not need to remove the sling plate on the OEM, okay? You don't have to. I don't use it after I have the heat shield installed. I usually have a QD M-LOK attachment right here for my sling. So I take that off just to shave off a bit of weight off the gun, okay? Let's see, thread down the cap. All right, so just looking at my notes here. We're gonna slip this over the bracket, the front, okay? Might be a little tight getting over the bracket, that's okay. All right. All right, so now that it's lined up with the boss, I'm just gonna slip it into the boss hole of the optic rail. Okay. Never, when you're installing this, before you have your bolts in on the sides of this bracket, okay, before you do that, you never lift up on this while the boss is in this optic rail. You will ruin the optic rail. The aluminum will tear and it's going to be ruined. So do not lift up on this while this boss is in the boss hole on the optic rails, okay? So those are in. You're going to take your torque wrench. Sorry, I bumped the camera there, I think. We're going to just loosely thread these in. And these are all going to be torqued down to 19 inch-pounds, okay? I'm just going to do them lightly on the sides here. I'm actually just going to move this. Put it in the middle here. Just finger tight, really, is what I'm doing here. Okay. All right, so now that they're all sort of finger tight, I'm just going to torque them down to 19 inch-pounds. At this point, you can actually tighten it if you want to. There's really no, perfect way to do this. It doesn't really make a difference if you want to tighten it on a little bit. Okay. And you can blue thread lock these if you want to. I've never had them walk out. I've never thread locked them, so that's up to you. And that's installed. That's it. Okay. Let me look over my notes. All right, so 19-inch pounds on the bolts. And I'll do a takedown here for you. So I'll just lock the bolt back. I'm not going to remove the bolt, but very easy and simple. Okay. Sort of just hangs there. All right. This is how it comes off. We'll put it back on now. I like to just sort of get the boss over the receiver and maybe a little bit into the boss hole if you can, if your gun tolerances allow for it, but it doesn't have to. You just got to get the handguards on, right? Kind of hard to do this over a table like this on camera, but all right, there you go. What else is there? I will be probably releasing this match saver around the same time as the heat shield comes out. It just installs sort of right here, and I designed it to put a shell pretty close to the receiver. Okay. And I'm not sure what type of hex key this will have. It'll be on the product page once I release it. Okay, guys? So that's the RX Arms Benelli M4 M-LOK heat shield, and the match saver will be coming probably at the same time. And like I said, you do need to buy an RX Arms Optic rail. I'm releasing an RMR pattern, a mil-spec Picatinny Aimpoint T2 in the future, and an Aimpoint Acro P2 in the future. All right. Again, this is Rob with RX Arms Solutions. Thanks for watching.